StatCrunch can also be used to find a confidence interval for a mean. Keep in mind the general rule. If your sample size is larger than 30, you want to use a z-distribution or normal distribution. If it's smaller, we want to use a t-distribution. So let's take a look at a sample with a larger sample size. We have 136 drivers. They've already calculated the mean and standard deviation for us. That means we're working with a normal distribution with summary information, not raw data or a list of numbers. So let's go to the z-stat. One sample. We're working with summary information. And we know from our problem that the mean is 34.11, the standard deviation is 11.2, and we had 136 drivers. We're going to change this to a confidence interval and look for clues as to what level of confidence, in this case, a 90% level of confidence. Then hitting compute, StatCrunch will do all the heavy lifting for us. We have the lower and the upper limits, the sample mean, the standard error, and recall if you do need to find the margin of error, you can always subtract upper minus lower and divide that value by 2. In a similar manner, if you are working with a t-distribution, maybe you have a smaller sample, we'll do the same thing. We have the summary information. The only thing that would differ is, let's just say maybe that this sample was 25 individuals. Because it's so small, we use a t-distribution instead of a z-distribution, but everything else looks exactly the same. Because the constant is different for a z versus t, the limits will be slightly different, although they will be pretty similar. Either way, the options in StatCrunch are very similar, and it will help you compute your lower and upper limits. Just be sure to round as MathXL wants you to round.